It's time, guys. I know I'm a little bit late. In fact, probably very late, but I'm finally going to be answering your questions. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's just do it. We have some questions and we also have some comments. What I'll do is I'll leave the comments at the end of the video on screen, and maybe some of them I'll read out. We'll start off with Alawako Games. It says, how nice, man. I'm happy for having reached 9K of internet friends who follow you. Wish you the greatest success in the world. Your channel thus far has grown towards 10K. Congratulations. Thank you. Mixonat,
Who, by the way, you better go subscribe.
says, congrats, bud. I remember a year ago when you were less than 1K. The lows are rough, but the highs are amazing. Absolutely true. Got a question that says, think at 100K you will go full time? I think I'm just gonna go full time next year, no matter how many subscribers I have. I've been wanting to quit my job for the longest time. It causes me so much stress and anguish, and it's totally unnecessary to add that to my life. So I built up a decent enough safety net of money that I can try to do YouTube full time, at least for several months. And if nothing works out, I could always try to find another job. But even if it doesn't work out, I'm not gonna stop making YouTube videos. This is what I love to do. You already know that. So yeah, thank you, Mixonat, for your question. Let's go on to Maya, who has 3 different questions for me. It says, I hope these questions aren't too personal for you. How do you push through dark times? That's a difficult one because I succumb to the dark times a lot. I have a lot of, depressing episodes, I guess you could call it. I'm definitely not, I don't have chronic depression. It's not a medical thing for me. It's just something, we all go through those depressing moments. And the number one thing that I've really tried to do is to just try and look past it, look towards the positives that are coming up or the positives that have happened. And it doesn't always work. I definitely need a lot of distractions, and a lot of those distractions come from watching YouTube videos, unsurprisingly enough. But yeah, I think it's a lot about just trying to push through in any way you can and cope with it in any way you can. And also just distract yourself with things that you enjoy doing. Question 2 is, how do you stay motivated for YouTube? Because I love doing it and I love entertaining people, and seeing all these comments and all the wonderful things you guys say to me, it's like the main motivator for me. And a random last minute question, what was the most stupid thing that I did in school? I would say it's a thing that happened to me, not a thing I did intentionally. But I remember I was in math class in 7th grade, and I was going to sit in my desk, which was directly next to one of those green, old school recycling bins. When I went to sit down at my desk, I don't know how it happened, but I slipped and I fell into it. I'll maybe try to find a picture to use as an example, but it was hilarious. I found it really funny. And everyone in the class just cracked up, and just people, the quintessential pointing and laughing at me. It was a bit embarrassing, but I will say it was funny. I found humor in it and I laughed it off, and everyone, it was fine. But yeah, thank you for your questions. I appreciate that. So we got Pecan over here.
By the way, you guys better go subscribe.
Just so you guys know, I'm going to be doing that for every one of my YouTube friends that has commented here. So yeah. It says, congrats, knowing how much work you put in really shows how much you deserve this. I'm glad you're on an up now and hope it continues, honestly. Seeing the quality of your stuff is inspiring, and just know 10K is just the beginning for you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Question, what's one of your favorite memories from this channel? Something you can think back of to remind you of why you started and keep you motivated. I would say the first ever collab video that I did, which was not even with another YouTuber. It was with my good friend, Bobby.
By the way, he's in a band called Dreamwake, and they make phenomenal music. You better go check him out.
But yeah, we played, I forgot what the name of the game was. It was like a Left 4 Dead alien kind of game. Earthfall, that's what it was called. It was basically like an alien version of Left 4 Dead. And it was really cool, and it was a lot of fun. And I think that I remember that being the first time that I recorded something that I was fully myself. Before then, I was really timid and nervous to kind of break out of my shell and act like myself. I didn't want to come across as annoying or anything like that. But having Bobby there with me to kind of bounce off commentary with, it was really helpful. And obviously it's a very old video, so my commentary was still very primitive and the editing style was almost non-existent, but it gave me that feeling that I knew I had something and I knew it was something that I could stick with. So yeah, I would say that's it. Thank you for your question, Pecan. I appreciate it. I'm last name X says, I love the mentality, man. I just want to know, do you plan on playing other game genres? I do. In fact, my next live stream, which is coming Wednesday, the 8th of December, it's going to be a chill stream where I play probably a couple varieties of games, and then it looks like based on the votes that I'm getting on the poll, that Minecraft is gonna win. But definitely in the future of this channel, as it starts to grow and I can start branching out of horror, I'm gonna start playing other games. In terms of games that I would preferably want to play, I would say like, I really like action sports games like skateboarding games, and I've been playing a lot of Riders Republic recently, just on my own time for fun. And also No Man's Sky, I absolutely love that game. So those would be some games that I would get into. And we got Ikuzo Mundo, the homie.
Y'all better go subscribe.
Says, I just texted you, I know this video is for 9K, but man, I was just telling Mrs. Mundo that you hit it. You fucking made it to 10K, man. Hell yeah, dude. I almost can't believe it. It's the point those doors have finally opened for you now and you can start really moving forward. This is your well-deserved reward, man, and you've sacrificed too much and way too much sleep to not have it. Couldn't be more proud and excited, dude. Congratulations. I appreciate you, Mundo. You know that. Oh, yeah. I need a question. If there was one thing in this world you could have right now, what would it be? That's a really good question. I think I would just default to $1 billion. I know it's greedy and it's kind of sleazy to have that amount of money, but if I had that money, I would literally do nothing else but make YouTube videos. Even if I didn't make any money at all from YouTube, I would just still be doing it, because $1 billion, I wouldn't be able to spend that in my life. Unless I was like Rice Gum or these other flexing YouTubers who purposely buy these expensive things so they can make more money from the video, showing it off and flexing to their fans. I'm not that type of person. I wasn't raised like that. Even if I had a lot of money, I would still live comfortably, but I wouldn't go over the top with it. Definitely not. So yeah, I would say $1 billion. I think a lot of people would want that amount of money also. It's kind of generic, but that would be it. Sinister Incubus, another homie.
Y'all better go subscribe.
I'm not gonna stop doing it, dude. Says, it's so awesome to see you grow and make awesome content for all 9.5K. I love the content and you are an all-around wholesome person. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Same goes to you. My question is, how long does it take to edit one of your awesome vids? Given that you upload daily, I don't know how you do it. Not much sleep. I'll tell you that much. I would say, I mean, obviously, you know, it depends on like the length of the raw files. That can really play a part, but I've been trying to get a little bit better at cutting my videos down to like just the most important parts and trimming the fat, because I have a problem with leaving things in that don't have any business being in the video. But as of now, I'd say it's taken me like roughly 4 to 5 hours to edit what ends up being around a 20-minute video. Again, the time varies depending on like the actual content itself and the length of the raw files, but I'd say around 4 to 5 hours. Toasted Pizza, another OG homie on the channel, been here since I believe 100 subscribers or just around there. Says, it's really awesome seeing how you were below 100 subs not long ago and now you're marching onwards to 10K. Congrats, next up you'll reach 100K and then 1 million and beyond. I really hope so. Q&A question is this: after playing so many horror games, are you still sensitive to creepiness in new games or even stuff that happens IRL? I know I'd still be. Yeah, I would say some games definitely spook me out still, especially stuff that involves like the unknown, like being in a dark place and have something kind of come out and reach out from the shadows or something. That really does it to me. Or just overall uncanny valley stuff. That's why Maple County really freaked me out. But IRL, I get pretty spooked a lot. I'm in the basement where I record, and I usually spend all my time down here. We got a boiler right there and it'll kick on randomly and it makes me jump. And then throughout the night, I'll hear like random pops and creaks upstairs because we have a fairly old house. The wood floors creak a lot on their own. So there are times where I'm watching a video and I'm like, you know, cutting up my next video, and I'll hear like all these pops and I'll pause the video and just like stand up, turn off my fan so there's no noise. I'm just like standing in the middle of my room looking around, waiting to hear another noise. It's totally like total nonsense, but I do it anyway. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Thanks for all your support over the years, Toasted. Dreamful D says, congrats, man. I'm here since only the start of this year, but I saw your growth. I always love your montages. I have 2 questions related to the genre of your channel. What makes you love horror games, and what was your first horror game? So the thing that makes me love horror games is the sheer variety of them. And I've played many indie horror games that are just so different from each other. Sure, there are a lot of samey ones that I've played, and those ones, you know, they kind of fly under the radar in terms of things that I enjoy. But I found a lot of genuinely unique, moving, interesting, crazy, scary horror games through Itch.io. So I would say that's probably why. And what was my first horror game? It was The Forest, which Technically, I guess wouldn't necessarily be considered a full horror game, but I consider it horror. Don Malovin Landry is in the building too.
Y'all better go subscribe.
I wasn't expecting that squeak, but here we are. It says, congratulations, bro. Keep going strong. My question is, what advice would you give small YouTubers or YouTubers who have recently started this channel within their channel within the past year? I would say stick to doing things that you enjoy because people can tell if you're not enjoying what you're doing. Also, just make sure you're genuine and true to yourself. Be yourself as much as you can, because if you're faking your way through it, that's another thing that people can tell. And my last little piece of advice would be when you're starting to feel down and you're starting to feel like things aren't going to change, keep pushing through, because they will. The more you do something, the better you get at it, and I'm a huge proponent of that. It's something I've applied to a lot of different things that I've wanted to do in my life, and they've all went well to some degree, especially YouTube, which this is probably like the most I've stuck to something. Even when I feel down, even when I feel like the channel isn't going anywhere, something happens where I just keep pushing and something happens to make it all right again. So yeah, those would be the pieces of advice that I would give, and I look forward to seeing your channel grow as well, man. We got Carrie over here with another question. Says, big congrats. Here's some more subs. You deserve all the good things. Thank you. And they have some rapid fire questions. What sports teams do you follow? I don't really watch sports a lot, but when I was a kid, I loved the Chicago Bulls, mainly because my brother did, and I like looked up to him for everything. And then as we got older, we gravitated towards the Knicks, and then I just totally fell off of sports. But recently, my friend Bobby is a huge Vikings fan, and I've gone to watch some games over at his house. I've gone to some of the Super Bowl like get-togethers that he's had over the years, and it made me have a love for football, and I really love like the determination that the Vikings really put in over the last few years. They've kind of turned it around because they've always been like the punching bag of the NFL almost, where they pretty much always lost. And even still, like they choked towards the end, but I really like the determination and the drive and the 180 that they made to make their team better. They've been doing a lot better lately. If you could only eat at one restaurant or fast food place for the rest of your life, what would it be? I would say for a restaurant, probably TGI Fridays, only because there's something for everyone there. And for a fast food place, I would say Subway, because I like Subway. What can I say? I know the sandwiches are god awful and it's like some of the worst stuff you can put in your body, but I still enjoy it. Plus, I'm not a big fan of super greasy foods anymore. When I was younger, I used to be, but now that I'm getting a little older, fast food in general, like I like Taco Bell, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's something that if it were the only thing that I could eat in terms of fast food, that would be it. I think it would probably be Subway. There's a little more variety there. What are your top 5 favorite musicians that you listen to? This one is really hard, but I've thought about this a little bit. I would say Animals as Leaders, Coheed and Cambria, The Fall of Troy, Chan, and maybe Periphery. I think Periphery would be a number 5. What's the scariest game you ever played? It's either a toss-up between From the Darkness and The Mortuary Assistant, the new teaser demo. No, it's The Mortuary Assistant. That game absolutely like gave me such a visceral fear reaction that I don't think I've ever experienced at that level in any other horror game. From the Darkness is very close, but I think just the visceral fear that came from, I mean, it made me physically back up, which it doesn't happen very often when I play games. And when I say back up, I mean I moved my chair back from the screen because of how frightened I was. So yeah, I would say The Mortuary Assistant, the new public teaser that came out recently. If someone knocked at your door at 2 a.m. asking you to help them jumpstart their car, would you help them or not answer the door? To be quite honest with you, unless I knew for a fact that that's what was going on and that there wasn't anything nefarious happening, I probably wouldn't answer the door. Is that mean? I'm in it for self-preservation, okay? I'm trying to live here. Anyway, Carrie, thank you so much for your questions. I appreciate you. Buzzcat Barbie says, love the positive vibes. Would you ever want to make your own horror game? Yeah, that's actually one thing that I've always wanted to do. I don't know the first thing about game design or development whatsoever. I have, I guess, made a couple of acquaintances and friends in the game development sphere. So if I ever decided to get into it, I would probably ask them for some advice and like how to get started with it. But yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to do. I don't know what it would look like. Maybe a point and click horror game. I love those, but I think it would be fun. Expect to maybe see that at some point in my future. And then a developer that I actually know. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate you. It says, hey man, congrats. You are a great inspiration for me personally. Even though I've been subscribed for 2 weeks or so, I was watching your uploads as I started creating my own, and making this platform more about community is the best way to go. You get rewarded and it shows. 9K. Yeah, absolutely. I'm really happy that a community is kind of being built here on this channel. It makes me really happy. But the question I would want to know, what type of videos do you personally would be excited to upload besides playthroughs of horror games? I've wanted to do a try not to laugh for a while, so I think I'm gonna end up doing that. But I really like the commentary genre. I'm not confident enough in my commentary abilities to be able to do it like exclusively, but I think at some point in my life I would want to make commentary style videos. So yeah, I would say that would be the type of content I would make if I wasn't doing gaming content. Colorful Quesadilla in the building, a great animator, says, yo, congrats on 9K, my dude, you deserve it. Thank you so much. Anyways, here's some questions for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate hummus? I would say about a 7. Only because I've had some really great experiences with hummus and some really bad ones. Do you watch any shows? If so, what's your favorite? I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's probably my favorite show of all time. I also really like Trailer Park Boys. It's hilarious. Yeah. Basically anything like comedy related. The Office is great. South Park is great. Family Guy, American Dad. Anything that makes me laugh is what I like the most. Are there any random facts about yourself? If so, what are they? I guess maybe one that I can think of is that I'm terrified of driving. I got into a pretty bad car accident. Maybe I'll leave a picture somewhere. But I got into a really bad car accident a few years ago, and it just, ever since then, I hate driving fast. I hate going on the highway. And driving in general makes me very nervous. Unfortunately for me, I need to drive in order to get to work almost every day, but I don't have to take the highway, so I'm fine taking back roads. But yeah, thank you so much for your questions. I really appreciate it. Angel12 says, what's your favorite game ever? Do you plan on playing a multitude of genres? Do you prefer indie games over AAA games? I would say my favorite game ever, I could give you like a top 5. Ocarina of Time, Pokemon Emerald, No Man's Sky, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Skate 3. I think those would probably be my most favorite. The games that I've had like the best times playing. And as I said before, I do plan on playing a multitude of genres in the future when my channel starts to grow a little bit more. It seems like a lot of people really like the horror content that I'm putting out, so I'm gonna stick with that for now, maybe pepper in a few other types in between. Do you prefer indie games over AAA games? I will say, while AAA games have their place and like they're pretty solid in what they do, I really enjoy like the passion that goes into these indie games that I play. And of course, not all of them feel that way. It feels like some of them are kind of haphazardly slapped together, but I found a lot of developers that create genuinely moving experiences in one way or another, whether it be scary or like emotionally moving. And I've only found that in a few of the AAA titles that I've played, while I've found it in 2 handfuls, if not more, of the indie horror games that I played. So I would say I prefer indie horror games for that reason. Logan Hoff says, huge congrats, man, on now 10K as I'm writing this comment. Keep it up, and what's your music genre? I assume you're asking favorite music genre, and I would say metal. Like any variant of metal music is my favorite. Vidas in the building, a great developer, one of my all-time favorite developers that I found through Itch.io. Says, good and wholesome person plus legit quality content equals success. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. And he asks, why horror games? What got you into horror? I remember playing Slender, the 8 Pages at my friend Bobby's house a long time ago. I don't think that was my first horror game I ever played, but I remember like the reactions that he and I were both having to the game, and it was incredibly funny to me. And that intense anxiety that you get from not knowing what's around the corner. I think that type of stuff, just the unexpected nature of what some of these games provide, really makes for some great reactions and great fun content to make. Roblox Player says, I'm really happy you're growing up faster. Your content is always the best. I hope you're not going to stop making vids. I will not. Don't worry. Questions are, what do I do in my free time? I play guitar and I play video games. And occasionally I'll hang out with some friends. I don't really have a lot of free time anymore, especially now that the holidays are here and I'm getting more hours at work. But those are the things I would say I do the most. What is my future content? As I said before, I'm going to stick with the gaming, but I may start another channel or start to implement other like live action forms of content here, like commentary and reactionary videos, that type of stuff. How many times have you been saying what's going on, everybody? You know, that's hard to say. I don't remember when I started saying that, but it was definitely around the time that I started taking editing more seriously. Again, I can't put a pin on which video in particular was the first for me to say that, but I used to say some variation of that, and then it just gravitated towards what's going on. The Mr. Beatbot man says, nice, you reached 9K. It's great that more people have found your channel because your videos are just great. I hope you reach 10K very soon. Well, luckily I did. I don't really know what to ask, but what's your favorite video game? Again, I'll have to refer to my older comment, which I'll put the pictures up here. Daniel Stone says, congratulations. My question is, what's your favorite color? And do you have any pets? If so, can you tell us their names? My favorite color is blue. And I used to have a cat named Piff, which I'll also be putting pictures around. But unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. It was the first pet I ever had, so it was like devastating to me. But I've grown to move past it, and I still have his cat bed sitting in the corner over there in my room. And I don't think I'm ever gonna get rid of it. It's just a memento of him. And I've shown this on stream a few times, but I also have this little thing here. He was a black cat, and this is kind of just like a representation of him. It looks a lot like how he used to look. So yeah, I keep that right here on my desk, staring right at me as I make videos, just to remember him. I loved that cat. My name is Connor in the building, says, congratulations, I found you all thanks to Ikuzomundo one day, and I just continued to support you. Let's reach for the stars. Thank you so much, Connor. I appreciate you and all the support you've shown me in my streams and on my videos every single day. And we got Botman in the building.
Y'all better go subscribe.
And he says, yes, sir, let's go. No question, I'm just proud. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. And I hope to see you back on YouTube sometime soon. I know you probably got a lot going on in your life and it's tough to upload videos frequently, but I do hope one day that you'll make a return back to YouTube. Either way, I love the content that you've already made. You're an absolutely hilarious individual. And I thank you very much for your comment. I appreciate you. Brittany Rainbow says, I love seeing your videos blow up because you're really so underrated. Thank you for that. Questions are as follows. How long do you spend editing your videos? Again, roughly 4 to 5 hours each time. And how did you learn to edit? I'm mainly self-taught. I've looked up some tutorials here and there on YouTube, but basically almost everything you see in my videos, if not everything, I've taught myself. There's a lot of trial and error, a lot of like figuring out and kind of just using creative ways to game the system of Premiere Pro. But I'm really happy with how far I've come with editing. Error 404 Adrionic says, hey man, I'm so happy for you. I can't imagine your mindset right now with a bunch of people cheering you on and enjoying your personality and content. I've watched you since a while back. Mind the fact that I was absent for more than 2 years. But I have a few questions for you. These may be a tad bit personal, so if you don't want to answer on your Q&A, it's cool, but here they are. Question 1, you have a lot of simps, so I'm wondering what is your actual sexuality and who actually has a shot with you? I'm straight, and I don't plan on getting into a relationship anytime soon. All the stuff that I say in the streams is just for jokes. Which leads me to the next question. When that OnlyFans getting set up, we all want it. That's another joke. It's just like a running gag on my channel. I don't think I'll ever do that. I don't think I'll even be allowed to do that. I think you have to be accepted for it or something like that. And I don't think I would be accepted for it. What are your long-term goals with this channel? Do you plan on just to do it until you're in the grave or eventually retire? I know that time is very far away, but I'm curious since it's something not many YouTubers care to think about. Love your content. Keep doing what you're doing. Tell the cops I was at your house. If they ask, dude. Error, I worry about you sometimes. I'm just kidding. No, that's a good question to ask. I plan on doing this for as long as I physically possibly can. That's my answer. Happy Peeps says, random fact of the day, College of the Ozarks doesn't charge tuition. Instead, students work on campus at least 15 hours a week and have 2 40-hour work weeks. That's pretty cool. I love the facts, by the way. I love that you post these as comments. Keep it up. 5 random questions time. Rapid fire. How's your little buddy on your eyelid doing? Hope he's having a great time. Where is he? Here? Doing all right. What's your most favorite games you've played so far? On this channel, I would say definitely the Mortuary Assistant again. From the Darkness, basically anything from Vitas Games. Board Leviathan makes some great games as well. Corpse Pile games. There's so many to list. I don't think I could pick an actual favorite of mine. Who's your favorite game creators, if any? If you mean game developer, then I would say probably Vitas Games. I've gotten some really great experiences from them. If you're talking about YouTubers, I would say Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Zach Beal TV, Dashi I've been getting really into lately. Dashi is so funny. And of course, all my YouTube buddies, Ikuzomundo, Mixonat, Sinister Incubus, Cameron Kablinski, Crazy Cheese Puff, Botman, too many to list. There's so many that I could be listing right now. What's the funniest moments you've had in life or in games so far? I remember there was this one time it's like one of the most vivid memories of me laughing like so hard that it hurt. I was in the car with my buddy. I forget the joke that was said, but we were all laughing so hard. We could not stop. It was like literally 5 minutes straight of laughing. And then as it started to die down a little bit, one of my friends said, "My cheeks." And it just started all over again. We couldn't stop laughing again. Even thinking back on that, it's so funny to me. In games, I can't really think about it. It's kind of hard to pinpoint because there have been a lot of funny, probably just like really glitchy stuff that happens in games of characters like being flung across rooms and stuff. That type of stuff always gets me. Who inspired you to be who you are today, if any? I would say my mom and my brother are huge inspirations to me, especially my brother. I always looked up to him and he kind of helped guide me through some dark moments in my life, so he's been a huge inspiration to me. Swerve says, congrats bro, you're already only 500 subs away from 10k, and over the past weeks I've been watching your amazing content and I noticed that you've been growing so fast recently. Keep up the great work. Question, where are you from? I'm from Connecticut in the USA. Ezra Starsky says, hopefully you'll get your 10k subs. My question is, which places or countries would you like to go to and why? Surprisingly enough, I'm very well traveled. I've gone to Spain, Portugal, I've been in a British airport, Brazil, Italy, Puerto Rico, and me and my family drove to California from Connecticut and back. So we visited a bunch of states. But I would say, and I know this is cliche as hell, everyone says this, but I would love to go to Japan. There seems to be a lot of genuinely beautiful places to be there, and I love just finding nature-esque places that are amazing to look at. Hafa Gostoso, I think that's how that's pronounced, says, what is your favorite soccer club? Do you like soccer? Here in Portugal, soccer is a most popular sport that everyone likes. I used to do capoeira, which for those of you who don't know, it's a Brazilian martial art that almost looks like dancing, but it's actually very deadly fighting. And the group that I would take classes with, we all became very close-knit, almost like a family, and we would sometimes go to my teacher's place because we were actually friends with him, and we would watch some soccer games. I wasn't super big on it, but I did enjoy watching, and the Brazilian team was like a big one that I was supportive of. Chuchi Behind the City says, oh, okay, if you could describe how you feel in a word, what would it be? Also, during the year, what was your favorite moment you had recording? Describe myself in a word. Ambitious, maybe? I have a lot of ambition. It doesn't always go anywhere, but I do have that ambition in me. My favorite moment recording. That's really tough. I think it would mainly just be a collection of moments from the collab videos that I've done. Yeah, I can't pinpoint an exact singular favorite moment. Twilight Sonic says, yeah, nah, you're gonna get 10k before I blink. Well, it happened. Q&A, when are you getting Terraria? It's been months since we played about it. I might play at my next live stream, just play a little bit of it just to get an idea, and then eventually do like a full live stream of it. When are we gonna make your Discord server? Probably next year when I go full-time with YouTube, I'll get started. So around June of next year, I'll get started on making my Discord server. SM Nenver says, hey, you sexy man. Honestly, I'm really proud of you. I haven't known you too long yet, but still, I enjoy you and see how hard you work. Wish you were rewarded more, but okay, questions. Feel free not to answer. Are you dating anyone? I'm not. And as I said before, I don't think I want to at this point in my life, maybe in the future. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So that answers this question right here. What are you looking for? I just want to find somebody who accepts me for who I am and I guess who I can make laugh, who enjoys my jokes. I love making people laugh. Someone that I can trust, someone that's also funny, someone I could just have a good time with. The general answer, I guess, for who I'd be looking for. Rosalind says, for a question, what are your nationalities? What languages do you speak? I'm half Puerto Rican and half Italian. I speak a little bit of Spanish, even less Italian, even less than that Portuguese. And I think that's it. And English, obviously. Velcata77 says, Q&A, are you going to play Cube Escape? I will. I promise you I will play Cube Escape. It's just a matter of time, but I will play it. And yeah, that about wraps it up for the Q&A portion, all the questions that I got. I really appreciate you guys for coming out and leaving me the questions that you did. It gave me an opportunity to kind of think some things through, and I always love doing that, so thank you. And I also want to take a quick moment to give a shout out to those who left some words of encouragement and positive comments here. I really appreciate all of you for all the support you've shown me over the years. It means so much to me. And I always say that at the end of every video, but I genuinely mean it. You all mean the world to me. So with that, my camera battery is about to die. I should probably put an end to this. It's been 46 minutes since I started recording. This is going to be very interesting to edit, but I enjoyed answering all your questions. I will do another Q&A in the future, maybe even a live Q&A, who knows, we'll see. But overall, I had a good time doing this. I hope you had a good time watching and getting a little more insight into who I am. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I truly appreciate every last one of you for coming to this channel and showing me the support that you do, especially now that I've hit 10K. It just blows my mind that there are this many people who watch what I do and like what I do. So thank you. You'll be seeing me in the next video coming straight at you at 5 p.m. EST. So be ready for that. I can't wait to see you there. Take it easy.